Nick Botten. We sit here at Tong as we approach the halfway stage of the 2025 season, but first of all, this is your first full year at the club. How are you finding the year so far from pre-season up to date?
Yeah, no, it's been really good. Really enjoyed it. I come in sort of about this time last year, just a little bit before, and finished the season out, which we had some success, but it was a struggle at times with fitness and injuries and stuff. So having the full pre-season and season that's gone so far, it's been really fantastic. I've really enjoyed my time and loved the challenge and sort of loved every minute of it as well. So it's been good.
How does your job change around this time of year? So obviously pre-season, they're getting flogged until 9 PM at night in the driving rain, and now there'll be a few battered bodies, some mental side of things that need refreshing. How does your job change at this time of year?
Yeah, as you say, it's that how we adapt things for the individuals, and there is some boys that have played every game so far, so trying to look after them, but looking after the boys that are slightly older as well, so the types of Bruno and Guy, it's more important to have them out on the field on a Sunday than it is to have them in every single session during the week. So we look after them, wrap them in a bit of cotton wool and make sure they're ready to go with everything that they need. With some of the others, it's more just using that time that we get. So this week's a good time to have a little bit of a reset. They get a few days off to get sort of away from the building, away from rugby league, and refresh their mind, refresh their bodies as well. So using that time, the bye weeks as well, to our advantage as well, by giving the boys some time to recover and recuperate away from the club, to refresh themselves and their minds as well.
I'm guessing, depending on the individual or the circumstance, recovery could almost be as important as an hour in the gym to get them in peak condition for match day.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, a lot of the time the boys have to do their recovery in their own time, but we have utilised this year with the relationship at Nuffield, allowing the boys to use the pool and the sauna and the steam room there, but also we've brought in a yoga instructor who comes in some Mondays to do some recovery, stretching, mobility with the boys. So having some fantastic people who are supporting the boys with their own recovery as well, to get them ready to go for when we need them. So utilising all the time that we do get, but utilising the facilities and the relationships that we've got as well to really help the boys recover and help them get to a good spot every week to then go and get battered and bruised on a Sunday.
Leading me seamlessly on to the next question, where I talk about the yoga instructor and the Nuffield Health Partnership. How beneficial is it mentally as well to have a bit of a change? So you're not in the pool every Monday, you're not doing yoga every Monday, there's a bit of variation there. That must be good mentally as well as physically.
Yeah, definitely. Rather than just being here at Tong in the same gym, in the same mats, in the same meeting room, on the same field all the time, they get to sort of go out and get out and about, and it's something different for them. They get to interact with different people, and it just, as you say, refreshes them a little bit. Something different for the boys as well, so it's not the same mundane gym video training. They get to do some yoga, they get to have a swim in the pool, use a steam room, going in a different gym, something just a little bit different for them. So it's a new stimulus and a new sort of environment which they can bring themselves into and use to their advantage. So yeah, it's good. It's been really excellent to have them partnerships and them relationships on board.
I'm guessing it's good for yourself as the head of strength and conditioning. You've got players like Michael Lawrence, James Donaldson, Warren Blake, and Michael. The list is endless that are real professionals and dedicated and committed to being in the best shape they can be. It must make your job a lot easier in terms of having that culture of accountability within training.
Oh yeah, definitely, and it's not just them sort of 4 or 5 that you listed there, it's across the squad. The boys that have come from Australia, Mitch, Logan, Zach, they all look after themselves really well, and then you've also got the more experienced heads like Bruno and Dono, who have been there and done it for so long, and they're coming down and utilising their experience to help the younger boys through as well. But the whole group as a whole, they're such a tight-knit group, such a good group, but they do things together as well, so they take accountability for themselves but also as a group. So you often find a load of the boys will go and do recovery together outside of it. Often you see them going for coffees or having some food together because the group that it is, and we've worked hard to really establish that group. So credit to the club for bringing in the sort of right players to sort of enable that to happen, but we worked hard to give them time to bond, and you can really see that coming out in the games as well, when they celebrate the tries and when they win the games in front of the fans, and how much it means to both the players but also the fans to see that togetherness. And so yeah, being part of that is really excellent.
Moving to how things are going on the field, the last 6 games, there's been tries in the last 5 minutes of those matches. A nightmare for me doing live updates and match reports, but for you, it must be a good endorsement for all the work when you go back to pre-season. The nights in the rain, 9 o'clock, those hard yards ultimately are bearing fruit in matches this year.
Yeah, definitely, and we spent a lot of time in pre-season working hard on the fitness and that sort of stuff. We didn't really do the fancy looking attack stuff really till we got into the season. So now it's really working to our advantage that we utilise that time to really build their fitness and their conditioning out. Don't get me wrong, they still have to work hard during the week. They still get a little bit of a conditioning block during the week, most weeks, but they're so used to it now that it comes as a part and parcel of training. But yeah, it definitely shows in the games and stuff that we're coming on strong. When teams start to drop off in the last 10-15 minutes, we're still sort of going strong, and then we can go on and score them tries that have ultimately helped us to win the games. And yeah, it's a credit to the boys as well for buying into that at pre-season as well, because there was a lot of running and a lot of conditioning, but we explained why we wanted to do it and the benefits they're going to get, and I think they see it themselves as well, as that they feel like they're coming on strong towards the end of games. And you see it with Bruno doing 80 minutes at the weekend, Sam Haddisk, who's done a couple of 75-77 minute stints, some of the forwards doing sort of big stints as well. You can see that even the older ones are still in peak fitness, and that's a credit to themselves as well, that they've looked after themselves, but they've been a joy to work with to get them to that point where they are right now.
You mentioned when you came in last year there were some difficulties, challenges in terms of how fit the squad were really, with a lot of injuries. How do you reflect on the side's overall health and fitness levels halfway through this year?
Yeah, in a much better spot. Obviously, I know we've picked up a couple of injuries, a couple of injuries from the weekend, but that's part and parcel of rugby league at the same time, and I feel that the boys are in a better spot overall to sort of rebound quicker from these injuries, whereas for last year they were getting hurt and then it was taking a bit longer for them to sort of get back to where they needed to be, because they didn't have that sort of basic fitness level and strength work that we'd spent a lot of time this pre-season doing. So definitely in a much better spot, and as you said, the boys are working really hard, keeping themselves fit and healthy and doing what they need to do in the gym. It's not just about lifting heavy weights, it's doing the jumps, doing the hops and the landings and all the basic mobility, band work and everything like that they take onto their own hands, and sort of work hard to make sure that they're in the right spot to go on a Sunday.
And just finally, a couple of months ago you were a key driver in an initiative called Bullfit that was launched. Can you just tell us a little bit about what's involved, what people can expect if they sign up for a session really?
Yeah, so it's sort of an initiative to drive health and well-being across just general population, but you get the chance to work with a qualified S&C like myself or one of the staff that works here, who obviously lead sessions for the first team, academy reserve, scholarship. They've been to university, they've got their degrees sort of thing, in an environment such as Tongue, so it's almost an insight into the Bulls training. They come and almost be like a Bradford Bulls player, get taken through a gym session, or it might be a session on the field that we can do, and it's utilising the space that we've got here to help the community be healthier and fitter. And there's lots of stuff out in the news about the way people are and obesity levels and that sort of stuff, and I want to give back to the community that support us so well. So it's not just open to Bradford Bulls season ticket holders, it's open to everyone in the public, whoever wants to come, just to sort of get them up and active and moving again. It doesn't have to be a, as I say, not mega lifting session, or it's not absolutely murdered on the conditioning, but just to get people healthy and active. And we've partnered up with Bailey Lou's No Limits company, so some of the boys who have learning difficulties, young adults who are learning their way in the world, have been coming in to access these facilities and get them to a place where they can be healthy and they can sort of depend on themselves to look after themselves, so doing fun little exercises with them. So it's not just about sort of lifting masses and masses of weight, it's about getting people moving and enjoying that moving that they're doing as well.